Here we go, here we go. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Here we have another crazy story. They said at one point in time, Suge Knight was worth almost $300 million. That's a lot of money, I have to admit.
Everybody know one thing about me. I don't care any Hollywood, any on the streets, especially Hollywood rappers. Yeah. We get our paperwork. Yeah. See what all we ever been arrested for. I guarantee you, there's never been nothing for me but straight real and violence. Ain't no, you ain't snitching. I ain't never in my life told. You know, I'm the mother.
Don't forget, at one point in time, Suge Knight, he was worth almost $300 million. Either way, he's locked up right now. He got about 27 years. He's in his 50s. They say he might not get out until he's in his hundreds. Am I wrong? Imagine that. Imagine getting out in your hundreds. Or am I wrong? I'm usually wrong in math, though. They said that Suge Knight never learned from the last time that he was locked up. Even though Suge Knight right now, he's doing all these years, he's doing 27 years, he's been there before. He's been there before. You would have thought that when he was there before, don't forget, he was worth about $300 million. That's why the last time when he came out, he was still the man. But you would have thought either way he would have learned from his mistakes and said, you know what? I can't afford to go to jail anymore. But believe it or not, some individuals, believe it or not, going to jail for them is nothing but a thing. You can't be the man if you don't go to jail. Maybe that's what's going on with Suge Knight right there. I don't know. You see he got that diamond shackles on his wrist. He was a man back then. But don't forget, back then he only got a few years. A few years is a big difference from 27 years, believe it or not. And being young is a privilege. But Suge Knight's youth was taken away from him.
I was in Compton, went to elementary school, and they just had different people come to class and talk to us about careers, and ask each kid in the class, "What you want to be when you grow up? What you want to be when you grow up?" I told them I wanted to be a football player. Because when I was 5 years old, my father put my age up to 7, 8 years old, and I played football. That's when I first started playing organized football. First year I played, I got an extra trophy, it was cool. But when I decided I wanted to be a football player, it was like, there's nothing in the world more hard than to do is become a professional football player, so pick something else. You won't make it. So I thought about it. There wasn't nothing else I wanted to do. I said, look, this is what I'm going to do. So that's what I followed up. And I always been the type of person where in class, I always been one of those.
They say that Suge Knight went from being a good boy to being a bad boy to literally being placed on death row. Imagine that. It's 27 years being placed on death row. No, it's not the same. Imagine that. Imagine that. But death row has to do with jail. Suge Knight, he's locked up right now. Believe it or not, you probably think it's bad that Suge Knight's locked up right now. But maybe Suge Knight saying, you know what, I'm just kicking back, relaxing.
No, you don't make promises. You don't make promises. Prison is one thing. Yeah. In prison, you live for that moment. You live for day to day. And one thing people shouldn't do is make promises in prison. I don't never tell nobody I'm going to write you, I'm going to holler at you, or nothing. If I with my with them, you know what I mean? Because if you get your word on something, you got to keep it. Yeah. A lot of times, prison is prison. Don't get me wrong, I got a lot of my homies there, and I miss my homies that they couldn't go home, but at the same time, we still holler, but I had to get where I gotta go. Yeah.
So even though Suge Knight, he's locked up right now, it might not be that bad for him. Some individuals feel like, prison's is not that bad. But imagine that. Imagine rather being in prison than to enjoy your $300 million, fortune. But I don't know.
Take me into the world of prison, because hopefully I'll never be there. When you were there, were you scared?
Actually, the sad part about it in prison, I had a ball. I had a lot of fun.
You're the only person that had fun in prison.
I had fun. I had the opportunity to see a lot of my homeboys, which is really sad that never would come home, never have an opportunity to come home.
When you were in prison, did you feel more at risk when you were in prison or out of prison?
I think prison is a little safer than the streets.
For you?
For anybody. I mean, in prison...
No, prison ain't safe for me.
Oh, well, that's...
Suge, look at me. How long am I gonna last?
Well, you know, you might be doing a few clothes, a few not really.
I'll be walking around going, Suge.
So that's what's going on with Suge Knight right there. You know, he locked up even in prison. I mean, they say he squandered that $300 million. They said it's a far from grace. You would have thought the first time he was incarcerated, he would have learned. Maybe he did learn. Maybe he learned that being locked up is not that bad. Imagine that. Imagine thinking locked up is not that bad.
You live in Compton. It's a difference.
Well, that you're gonna explain that difference because I lived there all until I was 17 years old.
So the difference is, there's a lot of people that
You talking about the streets?
No, so a lot of people that live in Compton, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they go outside and they go, okay, I live in Compton.
Mm-hmm.
Go to school.
Mm-hmm.
After come home,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna play Atari or Nintendo one out. Then you got people from Compton
Mm-hmm.
who ran around in Compton and participated in everything that went on in Compton. If it was a neighborhood party, if it was a neighborhood fight,
Mm-hmm.
if it was a neighborhood football game, that's from Compton. But
So you don't think I did that?
Oh, you probably did.
That's a whole other
cool.
conversation.
I understand what
Is it a Compton thing? You can't be a real individual. Imagine that. Imagine not getting. I have to admit, Compton's one of those places. It's gangland. And these gang members, they don't respect anything but violence, unfortunately. If you're not a violent person, the chances of you getting respected is next to minimum, next to nothing, next to zero. So that's probably what happened to Suge Knight right there. So basically what Suge Knight should have done, at least I believe, at least I think, but don't forget, it's not about what I believe or what I think. It's about what's really going on right now. So basically what I get from what Suge Knight is saying, you can't be a real, respected, gangster in the streets of Compton, unless you go to jail. That's basically what I get from it. I wonder why these individuals need to prove to themselves, you know what, I'm really like that. For example, he's in his 50s when he went to jail. Big U right now, he's in his 50s. He's from California. When he was young, everything was great. But one thing about age, once it catch up to you, he said, wow, I'm this old now. I remember back in the days, I used to live that reckless life. I didn't learn anything. I went from diamonds to a prison cell. Imagine going from diamonds to a cigar to a prison cell. Don't forget about those fancy shades that Suge Knight used to wear. So that's what's going on with Suge Knight right there. He been there, he done that. He been there, he done that 2 times. Imagine that. Imagine been there and done that 2 times. I know a lot. Only thing I do know is grind on paper. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe button. Support my channel also, wouldn't hurt. Imagine that. Hit the like, just hit the like button. That's supporting my channel, free of cost. Till next time.
Bro, when he comes out?
No, you don't make
At the
promises. You don't make promises. Prison is one thing.
Yeah.
In prison, you live for that moment. You live for day to day. And one thing people shouldn't do is make promises in prison. I don't never tell nobody I'm gonna write you, I'm gonna holler at you, or nothing. If I with my, you know what I mean? Because if you get your word on something, you gotta keep it.
Yeah.